In the beauty industry, there's a common misconception that frequent visits automatically translate into client loyalty. But is that really the case? Can you truly call yourself a loyal client just because you visit the same salon regularly? We're about to shatter some preconceptions and explore the trust and expectations that truly define loyalty in the world of hair care. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Hair What I'm Saying podcast. I'm Kinetra, your host and guide through the fascinating world of merging this gap of all the misconceptions and misunderstandings in the beauty industry. Today, we're going to shine a light on the various shades of client loyalty, the factors that blur the lines, and how clients occasionally bend the rules because they believe their frequent visits grant them special privileges. We're diving deep into a topic that often lurks in the shadows of salons and barbershops, the myth of client loyalty. So whether you're a seasoned stylist or barber, a salon owner, or a devoted client, this episode is for you. It's time to separate myth from reality and unravel the concept of true client loyalty in the hair industry. Do you hear what I'm saying? This misconception of what defines a true loyal client is very blurry. Even professionals struggle with understanding what defines a true loyal client. And we all believe that if this client is consistently reoccurring on our books, then that defines them as a true loyal client. And I never heard a professional or a client define the definition in any other way. But a true loyal client does not push boundaries. But who is responsible for the client believing that they can push the boundaries? We are the professionals. We're 100% responsible for this behavior. It could be you had a tone set in the beginning of the relationship and you got laxed on that tone, or it could simply be you never set the tone from the beginning of the relationship. So there was no boundaries set in place in order for y'all to have a mutual understanding and respect from one another in each other's positions. I myself am guilty of this behavior of setting this tone with a client in the beginning and not sticking to it. In our minds, we're thinking, she's coming to me consistently and she's creating consistent income on my books. So in return and in exchange, we allow them to bend the rules and be a little more flexible opposed to a client that doesn't. Even though we are seeing that whenever we are laxed in the structure of our business, it's affecting how we can effectively run our business. And this is also a quick way to lead down the road of burnout. The policies and the way you have your business structured or outlined are in place for a reason, and you have to always remember the why. And we oftentimes forget what the why is in everyday situations as to why we make certain decisions in our lives, period. Not just behind the chair or in a salon environment, even in our personal lives. Always remember the why. And then whenever you try to come around or revisit your policies in order to reiterate that structure to this client that frequently visits, it's extremely hard and uncomfortable. And when you try to reiterate these policies, it tends to rub the frequent visitor or client the wrong way. And usually in these situations, the frequent visitor or client will go find another stylist. And for me, that's all fine and dandy because we all have to get into a mental space of knowing everyone is not your fit. And I'm not just speaking from a professional standpoint, also from a client's standpoint. Don't make anyone your fit that's not your fit. If you need flexibility and leniency when it comes to booking and scheduling appointments with your preferred stylist or barber, then you have to find someone that can allow that in their business. But understand that level of customer experience that you are seeking comes with a certain level of what that stylist or barber's expectations will be during your appointment. It's just like the law of attraction. I've had countless situations to happen within my salon where I have clients who are reoccurring every 2 weeks or every month on the books. And they know and understand the policies of how my business is structured in order to proceed with securing an appointment. So basically, you request an appointment, I view the request, make sure that I'm able to meet the standards or expectations that you are requesting. And if I can, I send you a link for you to pay your deposit. There's a note attached in that link where it explains what you need to do in order to secure your appointment and what happens after you do. And basically, to make a long story short, I greet the client. I let them know how much I appreciate them for booking me and asking if you would please secure your deposit within a 24-hour time frame due to the high demand of client requests. Basically, if it's not secure within the 24 hours, the appointment will be released for an opportunity for another client to book. That's the policy in order to move forward with an appointment. There have been situations where clients who know the policy, who has been booking with me for quite some time, where they have genuinely missed the email. But what a lot of clients don't know is we are able to see if you view the email or the deposit link. Square lets us know that. It lets us know how many times you open it, and it also lets us know how many hours ago you viewed it, even down to the minutes. So whenever I go back into the system to check to see who has paid their deposit so that I can approve or release the appointment, if I see that you have viewed the appointment and you didn't secure it within the 24-hour time frame, I release the appointment. That is the standard, and you know that when you book. So there have been times where clients who reoccur regularly, whenever they don't secure the deposit within that 24-hour time frame, I release the appointment. And then once it's released and they receive the email that it has been released, then I have this follow-up text message saying, I received an email stating that my appointment is no longer available, or I can't secure the deposit because the link is no longer available. And then I have to reiterate the policy as if they don't already know the why. So then when I reiterate the why, then the frequent visitor, that client has a problem with me sticking to the structure of how I have outlined my business as if they don't already know. And the reason why I know they have a problem is because they don't book again. When you were reoccurring regularly, you don't have to say that you have a problem. Your actions speak louder than your words. I know you have a problem, but I don't have a problem with you also not understanding and also you not wanting to follow the structure I have outlined for my business. To me, we have met the end of our relationship, and I am completely fine with that. I don't force relationships with clients or with people in my life. I accept that there is an end point or there is a forever situation. I also stop following up with clients to remind them to secure their deposit within that 24-hour time frame because Square sends the email reminders. And whenever I have to pull away in order to constantly remind you via text, I'm taking time away from something that I could be doing. And I had to stop doing that because clients don't understand there's a number of you doing this. So I stopped doing that. And that's what I mean by the difference between a loyal client and a frequent visitor. Because a frequent visitor feels so entitled. It's like, how dare you? I come see you every 2 weeks. You should be grateful that I'm even sitting in your chair. And how dare you release my appointment? As if you know I'm not going to show up. I don't know what you're going to do. I just know that I have to stick to my policies in order to continue running my business. That's all I know. And the policy did not change. So I'm not going to follow up with the client. I did that in the past. I'm never doing that again, because also in many other situations, I find myself following up with the same client over and over and over again. And I also don't appreciate when you tell a lie and not be honest about you saw the link come through, instead of you being dishonest and saying, oh, I didn't even get the email. I didn't even see it. And it's showing viewed from my settings. And that's why I become completely 100% happy and okay with them not booking ever again. So in some situations, you can set the tone, and because they are frequent visitors, they still will find a way to create some flexibility in your policies. However, whenever I do continue to follow up and follow up and follow up, that's also setting the tone to make them feel like it's okay, which is why I stopped doing that. So that's why you have to stick to the structure of your business. Even if these clients decide to find someone else, that's okay. You have literally freed up space for a loyal client that understands why certain policies are in place in order for you to run your business and also continue to service these clients with the level of quality and expectations that they want and deserve. I can't think of a frequent visitor that I genuinely miss. I do have some loyal clients where I sit back and I just think and I just ponder and I miss them genuinely. And they know who they are. My clients in the DMV, the ones who I serviced in Texas who have moved away, they know who they are. But these frequent visitors, no ma'am, no Pam, no Sam, no turkey. Goodbye and good riddance. Also, frequent clients hate when you go up on your prices. Ooh, they hate it. They will even have the nerve to ask you, why are you going up on your prices? I used to explain to clients why I am going up on my prices. I know I stopped doing it because you don't ask HEB, you don't ask Walmart, you don't ask Gucci, you don't ask Louis Vuitton, you don't ask any of these people why they are going up on their prices. And no longer will anyone else ask me, as if inflation isn't a thing every year, as if you don't get a raise every year. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm my own boss. If I don't give myself a raise, who's going to give me a raise? Now, let me say this. If you do go up on your prices, you should incorporate another level of quality in the experience for the client. And by that, it can be even just furthering your education and bringing some new techniques, some new treatments, or anything that you have discovered to enhance your skill set. That's a reason to also go up on your price. I will not vouch for professionals who do not continue to educate themselves and who do not create a quality experience for their clients. I will never vouch for you for going up on your prices. However, for a professional like myself, I absolutely will. Sometimes it's the tone and delivery from the client whenever they are inquiring about you going up on your prices. It's like that, girl, I got that email. I see you going up on your prices, ma'am. It's all of that, which is completely unnecessary. If you feel as though the price is out of something that you want to pay for, then you are welcome to find your new fit. Back to when I was saying sometimes we outgrow each other, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because you will notice whenever you go up on your prices, there's a percentage that go away, but there's a larger percentage that comes to you, because you have clients out here who will not pay a certain low price for their hair or anything. Even for myself, for hair extensions, I do not expect to pay anything below at least $250. And if I am paying you anything less than, I am questioning the quality of your service. And those are the clients that I want to attract. And those are the clients that you should attract. That is the client that we love seeing them come, because there is never this energy where you don't deserve to do what you do because you are a hairstylist, you are a barber. And let's be honest, a lot of clients don't respect who we are. They're so used to us taking and grasping at this low dangling fruit that they don't expect us to aim higher. And God forbid when we do. It's like, how dare you? You don't deserve to drive that car. You don't deserve to live in that house. You are a service provider. In their heads, that's how they think. Not loyal clients, these frequent visitors. Not understanding that what we do is genuinely art. A loyal client, they don't operate from a poverty mindset. They understand, and it could be from how you grew up. It can be from your life experiences, and it can be from you investing in the value of yourself. When you don't operate from a poverty mindset, everything around you, you view it as abundance. A person who operates from a poverty mindset, everything is limited. Everything is expensive. Everything is not an opportunity. You operate from a very limited mind frame, and you expect everyone in your surroundings to operate with that same mentality as well. A loyal client don't question the why. They understand the why. They don't push the boundaries. They respect you. But understand, in exchange, you have a level of loyalty as the professional that you have to abide by as well. This is an even exchange of services. The client books you, comes in with a certain level of quality in their service and expectations in your deliverance, and you match the energy, because you can't create this structure and these policies in your business and expect the client to do that as well. Another way we attract these frequent visitors or set the tone incorrectly in our business and our structure in our salon and barbershops is giving out discounts, blindfolded discounts, and also creating these loyalty rewards. I absolutely don't understand why loyalty rewards are even a thing, because you set the tone creating in this frequent visitor's mind that I'm a loyal client because every time I come, I get a stamp. Whether that's you coming every 2 weeks, every month, and then you might fall off and come back in 3 months and then fall off again and come back in a year. And I'm consistently stamping your loyalty card and you're not being loyal. That's not being loyal. You're not consistent. So that also displays a level of you not being loyal. Even if you are coming consistently, you're still not being a loyal client if you're not abiding by the policies and the rules that are aligned. And that's how you also, as a professional, unintentionally set this tone in this client's mind, thinking that they are loyal. Discounts is another thing I don't believe in. For one, a lot of us can't even afford it. For two, a lot of us are already giving you a discount in your salon service. Just because we don't say it does not mean that we're not doing it. As a professional, if you have not visited your books to make sure you can afford to give a discount, you should not be doing it. Because whenever you are in a position where you can't afford to give a discount, that's going to eventually lead to you not being able to afford to be behind the chair and support your livelihood. If you're going to give a discount, you need to visit your books to make sure that you can do it. And don't give it to your frequent visitors. Give it to your loyal clients, the ones who deserve it, the ones who respect you and also abide by your policies, the ones who also keep their appointments and understand that there are certain consequences if you do not abide by the policies and the structure of the business. I myself will not give out discounts, but I will compensate you for any of my slack in my salon service. That's the only discount I will give out. I don't give out discounts just because I am the first entrepreneur in my family and I genuinely cannot make room for it. I don't come from a family where my business was handed down to me, which creates generational wealth, which also creates generational structure in understanding how to run a business. So in my experience, I am learning and I am messing up a lot. I'm making a lot of mistakes in the process of me building. So I cannot even afford to give a client a discount. Now, if someone wants to take over my business and I lay out the structure and help them understand how my business has been ran financially and also practically, they will more than likely be able to afford to do that. But while I'm in the midst of learning and building, there is absolutely no way I can afford to give you a discount. And most Black professionals probably shouldn't be, because we are in the beauty industry. Sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, we are the first entrepreneurs in our families. And a loyal client isn't looking for a discount. They are looking for you to create the salon experience that you've always created and add value on top of it. That's what they're looking for. A frequent visitor is always looking for a discount. They feel entitled, like you owe them something, because they are frequently rotating in and out of your chair. Clients or these frequent visitors, they need to understand whenever there's leniency and flexibility created in your experience, that potentially leads to some impact on other clients' experiences. For example, if you're late for your appointment consistently, then you make me late for my next client. And then that client is looking at me as if I'm the problem and I'm running behind. Clients also need to understand sometimes we're running behind because the client before you is running behind, which is why, since this is an appointment culture, we have to cancel you if you have not showed up to your appointment within a certain duration, because you will throw the whole day off, especially if you're the first client. And how is that fair to the client that's committed to coming and showing up on time? It's not fair. So whenever we cancel your appointment and you've been reoccurring every 2 weeks and you show up past the grace period and we cancel and keep your deposit, then you're upset. and then you're not booking again, or you're disputing the charge. But it's completely unfair, not just to me, but other clients that are booked as well. So that's another reason why, as a professional, you have to stop allowing this leniency and flexibility with these frequent visitors. I know I keep calling them frequent visitors. They're not loyal clients. That's what they are, frequent visitors. Accommodating special requests, rule bending, can affect the quality and level of experience for other clients for you for the remainder of the day. Also, frequent visitors, they, in their heads, feel as though we owe them something because they are coming consistently. And no one owes anyone anything but the exchange of the value that we need from each other. That's it. It really is astonishing to me how a frequent visitor will say, I've been coming every 2 weeks. She hasn't given me a discount yet. She don't appreciate me. She don't respect me. How? You arrive to your appointment. Let's say, for instance, this frequent visitor, they have the behavior of a loyal client, but they have this sense of entitlement that we owe them more because they are reoccurring frequently. So say, for instance, they have the behavior of a loyal client, right? But they believe since they are, then why haven't you offered me a discount? Why is it that I have to pay a VIP squeeze-in service fee to see you outside of your normal hours? Oh, I'm going to stop going to her because she don't appreciate the value that I extend to her. That is not a loyal client. You arrive to your appointment on time. I'm prepared and I'm ready to service you for your appointment. You sit down, I give you good conversation. I give you the salon experience. I meet and exceed your expectations. In return, in exchange, you pay for the service, and I will see you next time. So, how am I supposed to owe you anything? I don't owe you anything but what you're paying for. That's it. What if I said to you, oh, I've been doing your hair every 2 weeks and I'm consistent. And every time you come here, I add value into your service and your salon appointment. And also, every finish, it gets better and better and better. I feel as though you owe me more money. You see what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? That's what I hear when you say things like that. What if I extended that energy to you? It's not fair. Let's just be honest. And I can't help but feel as though these frequent visitors, the mind frame and mentality comes from something deeper than these salon appointments. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, but I feel as though this energy is exchanged everywhere they go. But it won't be staying here at the Vintage Hipster. I will not allow it. I will not put up with it. And years ago, I would. I had a bad habit of people pleasing in my business, being afraid to receive a negative review from a client because I didn't do what they wanted me to do, even though it was completely just outrageous. Just wanting to please them as much as I possibly could. It was a very toxic trait, a toxic trait that I developed in childhood. And you will bring that toxic trait into your life, experiences, professionally and both personally. And when you don't learn how to say no, and oh my goodness, we are more afraid to say no than F you. No is the worst cursing word, non-cursing word, cursing word in the dictionary. Tell someone no, personally and professionally, after you have allowed them to just kick all over your boundaries. They forget how many times you said yes. You are immediately the villain. And transitioning from being a people pleaser to saying no is the most uncomfortable experience that I've ever encountered in my life. I almost feel like the most horrible person for saying the word no and putting myself first when I rightfully deserve to. And you have to understand there is a thin line between people pleasing and professional customer service. And saying yes to clients' outrageous requests is people pleasing. But creating a solid understanding of one another's perspective by putting yourself in the client's shoes in order to understand where they are coming from, if you can't connect with that, the answer is just no. And sometimes these requests, you don't even have to think. It's just absolutely no. But there have been times where I have said yes, and that little voice is in me saying no, 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 no. You always say no to you and yes to them. In any event where you say no to you and yes to them, the answer is N-O. Spells no way. A loyal client is respectful, appreciative, understands the value and experience of the service that they are receiving. They don't push boundaries. They also see you outside of being behind that friggin' chair. And a frequent visitor is the absolute toxic opposite. Which is why I am so happy and I feel so full being secure with knowing my value and also understanding every client is not for me. There is so much value in the word no. There is so much value in setting boundaries for your mental capacity so that you can show up for these clients who are loyal. A frequent client or visitor will push you to burnout quicker than you can spin your head around, honey. When I show up with my clients now that I've learned to say the word no and not feel upset with myself because I allowed a frequent visitor to dwindle away because I reiterated my policies, I am so happy to go to work and see my clients who respect me. I want to be there for them because I know you respect me. In exchange, I respect you. It's easy to communicate with you without feeling like I have to walk on eggshells when it's a situation where we're just trying to communicate to understand each other to build a healthier relationship that continues to grow. And those clients are your forever clients. Those clients make it hard to leave from behind that chair when it's time to retire. You just wish you could create a space only for them to come. But you cannot afford it, let's be honest. Because you want to show up for them. You want to take care of them. You want to give them that salon experience beyond what you've already just have in place. You want to do more for these clients because they deserve it. And I genuinely miss those clients who are not able to receive my services and who I'm not able to create that experience for no longer because they have moved and relocated or I have moved and relocated. We all learn from experience. And the reason why I know what my ideal client is because of these loyal clients who I have encountered and who I continue to experience to this day. And that, my dear listeners, bring us to the end of another enlightening episode of the Hear What I'm Saying podcast. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of client loyalty and the misconceptions that sometimes shroud it. Before we part ways, a few thoughts to ponder. True loyalty in the hair and beauty industry isn't just about the frequency of your visits, but the depth of the connection and trust that exists between you and your stylist, barber, or salon. It's a beautiful partnership built on mutual respect and understanding. If you've ever questioned what makes you a loyal client, take a moment to reflect on the emotions, the memories, and the unwavering trust you've built over time. And if you're a salon professional, remember that fostering these genuine connections is a true art that sets you apart. Your support means the world to us. And if you've enjoyed our podcast today, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate and review us on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more people. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest episodes, and follow us on social media at _Hear What I'm Saying _ on Instagram and TikTok. Share your thoughts and be the first to know about upcoming episodes and exciting updates. Your involvement is what makes the Hear What I'm Saying podcast a thriving, dynamic space, and we're excited to have you as part of our family. Thank you for your support and for making each episode a success. First and foremost, a huge shout out to our outstanding podcast manager, Sophie. Sophie, you have been an absolute rock star behind the scenes, ensuring every episode runs smoothly and flawlessly. Your dedication, creativity, and attention to detail have elevated this podcast to new heights. To our listeners, if you'd like to connect with Sophie and discover more about her virtual services, you can find her on Instagram at Sophie Virtual Services. Give her a follow, and trust me, you won't be disappointed. Next, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the talented musician who has provided the incredible music that accompanies our podcast, Doo-Wop. Doo-Wop's musical compositions have added depth and atmosphere to our show, making each episode an immersive experience. If you're as captivated by Doo-Wop's work as I am, be sure to check him out on YouTube and Instagram. Give him a follow at Doo-Wop _ 2.0. His beats and melodies are truly something special.